Never number one. Never follow a rule that follows your liver, your heart, your pancreas, or any other bodily organ that could conceivably have its mind changed by the shifting of the wind. The Devil's First Rule. There are only two kinds of spirituality in the world. One is wrong and one is right. One is false and one is true. One is a lie and one is real. One takes the form of the countless spiritualities that have gone out into the world as manifestations of the Antichrist, and the other is God's own holy spirituality. But which is which? How can you learn to tell one from the other? Let's begin by understanding that there is only one attack the devil uses in his war to destroy the Church of Jesus Christ. It's an attack he uses over and over again, but it is just one attack. The one and only attack the devil uses to destroy the church is to remove Jesus. This is the devil's first rule. But there is only one way to remove Jesus, and it's not the way that most people think. As far as the devil is concerned, it's perfectly cool to have a picture on the wall of a guy in a white bathrobe with long brown hair and a beard. It's even perfectly cool to call that guy in the picture Jesus and tell all the children that this Jesus guy loves them. The devil doesn't care whether you keep that picture up or take that picture down, because the devil's first rule is that he must remove Jesus. Not just some idea about some imaginary guy named Jesus, but the actual, real Jesus. There is only one way to do that. Remove the actual, real Jesus, words. The devil's first rule is to get us to forget all the things that the real Jesus actually said. The best way to do that is not to take down all the pictures of that long-haired guy walking through fields with some sheep, but to start replacing his words with other words, our words, other spiritualities, a counterfeit Christianity. By slowly leaching away the real Jesus words and replacing them, one by one, with his own, the devil can eventually lead us into worshiping a guy named Jesus, who is not actually there. But first, if the devil is ever to slip in his own words as if they were Jesus' words, he must get us to trust him. You might think that would be quite a challenge, but in the end it is actually very easy. All he has to do is lie. The devil really has only one lie. It is the lie. It's the same lie he has been telling ever since the beginning. John chapter 8, verse 44, and Genesis chapter 3, verses 4 through 5. As a result, he's very practiced at it. He's learned that there's more than one way to put a little spin on the same deception. He dresses up the lie in new clothes, and he gives the lie a new name. And at the drop of the hat, he can do it again and again and again. First he points you left, then he points you right. But both directions are off the path and lead down into a bog, where the waters are muddy and fog blurs the sight. Slogging through those waters gets tough. But then along comes the lie again, the same lie, but this time with a pretty wig and some fake eyelashes, whispering for you to try yet another direction. Not back to the path, no, never that. Just this way, over yonder. With each new step, the fog gets denser and memories of the path grow dim. Your hands rub raw on the weeds and thorns. Your feet bruise on the stone sunk beneath the mud. Your conscience feels ragged and tired. Then here comes the lie again. It's the same lie, but now with a top hat, a monocle, and a refined, compelling accent. And this time he says, "You know, you have that cursed path to blame for all of this. If you'd never been on that path in the first place, none of this would have happened to you." We would think we humans, after all we've been through, might start to recognize that we've fallen for the same dupe so many times before. But the devil is the master of disguising his lie. He is like a cook, preparing immaculate masterpieces worthy of gobbling up to the last delicate crumb. To the unwary, each dish looks like a new creation, something never before seen or tasted. That is the true talent of the lie. Even so, just as with any other kind of ingredient for a meal, there are only so many things you can do with the lie. No matter how many spices you add to a tomato base, you can take it only so far. And after all that, it is still going to taste like tomatoes.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.